Reading with your kids.
Hey, my name is Jed Lee. Welcome to Reading with your kids. We have a really wonderful show for you today. First up, Richard Michelson is here to celebrate his new picture book. It's called Fanny's Big Idea. Richard also tells us about his very unique art gallery and reminds us that the more you know about someone's life, the harder it is not to love them. Join us right now from one of the coolest places I can imagine. We'll talk a little bit about it later on. Our guest is here today to celebrate Fanny's Big Ideas. It's the new picture book from our guest, Richard Michelson. Richard, how are you? Welcome to Reading with Your Kids.
Well, thank you, Jed. It's good to finally be on your show. I know a lot of people have been, so I'm glad we were able to hook up.
I'm delighted to have you on. We've had a few folks over our 2,300 episodes. But one of the things that's incredible to me, and I had no idea when I launched this podcast, is how not only how wonderful the Kidlet community is, and how supportive 99.9% of the authors that I've had on the show are with each other. But also, I had no idea how big the industry is. And I was incredibly surprised last year when I went to the International Children's Book Festival in Bologna, Italy, and was blown away.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's talk about Fanny. She was a pretty amazing person.
And not too far from where you are. You're in downtown Boston, or where?
Well, I'm as far away from downtown as you can be and still be within the city limits of Boston. I'm in a wonderful neighborhood called Reedville.
Okay. So Fanny, this next month, November, where are we? We're in October now, all right.
We're in October now, yeah.
Is the 100th anniversary of of Jewish Book Month, which started out as Jewish Book Week, and also the Jewish Book Council does sponsors that every month. It's generally mid-November to mid-December, and Fanny started that 100 years ago, almost today. She was the first Jewish woman, the first Jew to run a branch library, and not too far from where you are. And that was in Boston. She ran the Boston Public Library, West End. And she was an immigrant and settled in Boston as a child, and ended up just loving the area, loving libraries, and her first job was at the Boston Public Library. She rose through the ranks, which was unusual for a Jewish person at the time, and she was instrumental in really serving her clientele of every nationality and race, etc. As the neighborhood changed that she was in, and as Jews moved into other neighborhoods and new immigrants started coming in, she always made sure to stock her library with books by those new immigrants. So when blacks started moving into Boston, she started putting black books on the shelf. Same with Chinese, Polish. She just wanted to make sure that her audience was served, the people who were coming in had things to choose from. And that was a time when a lot of immigrants, their main issue was to try to fit in and become all-American. Mm-hmm. That is how, even people of my generation, I was raised not to stand out. I was raised with no Jewish education whatsoever. I was not bar mitzvahed. I didn't go to Hebrew school. The aim was to make me an American. Mm-hmm. And what Fanny noticed over time was that many of her clients were so busy trying to be American that they forgot where they came from. And they forgot their own history. And she would look and keep track of what books people were taking out, and realize that how little her generation of immigrants were teaching their children about where they came from. Mm-hmm. And so she decided exactly 100 years ago that she would create a table with books about Jewish history, Jewish content, and she called it Jewish Book Week. And she reached out to librarians around the country. She reached out to Boston papers far and wide, and got them to promote this. And that was the very first Jewish Book Week.
Wow, that's incredible. And I am proud to be able to say that I actually performed in the West End branch of the Boston Public Library, doing educational magic shows at schools and libraries and churches, and whoever would have me was how I made a living.
Wow.
35 years. And I think I performed in every branch of the BPL. There may be a couple of branches that are smaller that I don't know about, but I do remember being in the West End because it was a pain in the neck trying to park my van to bring my stuff in.
So the West End that you were in is a different West End library.
Yes, it is.
It was rebuilt. That said, had you been around during Fanny's time, she very likely would have invited you to the very first Jewish Book Week or others, because she wanted not only Jews to feel comfortable, she wanted everyone to feel comfortable. And so she was not above putting a Christmas tree in the branch at the same time. She invited lecturers, she invited singers. I'm sure she would have loved to have you perform magic there for her. She wanted to get people in the branch so they felt comfortable in the libraries, and eventually, they'd start interacting with the books, and she was more successful than I think even she would have imagined.
Well, I know that her legacy, although this is the first time I'm hearing about Fanny, I know that her legacy continues, because one of the reasons I loved performing at the West End branch and branches throughout the Boston Public Library system is that idea that everybody is welcome. They go out of their way to make sure that their offerings are diverse, in addition to reflecting the neighborhood and the demographics in the different neighborhoods. I've stated many times that many of the branches of the Boston Public Library are oases for kids. Mm-hmm. They are the safe harbors that the only place that they feel safe in.
And that is something that she really set that tone. Mm-hmm. She wanted to make sure, she also, later on, I will tell you, she started Catholic Book Week and Negro History Week, and even, this is true, Boston Red Sox Week.
All right. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
So she was very much involved in getting everybody interested in everybody's culture. And boy, is that under attack today. I don't know that we want to go there, but this is the sort of thing that Fanny would have been standing up against, because she was not shy. She spoke her mind. She did not have children of her own, but she considered every child who walked in that library one of her children. And she didn't take nonsense from anyone. She lectured a lot. I have to say that at one point, she wasn't above even arguing among Jews, which we like to do, right? Mm-hmm. So towards the beginning, a rabbi tried to claim credit for Jewish Book Week. And Fanny decided to allow him to do that because her main interest was spreading the idea. She didn't need credit. She was about spreading the idea and making it happen. But what she soon found out is that this rabbi, who will go unnamed unless maybe you read the book in the back matter, didn't do any of the work. He just wanted the glory without the work. And so she had to stand up and say, this is not proper behavior for a rabbi, for anyone. She took her rightful rights back, rights or whatever. That wouldn't make it into the book. But she was a strong personality. She was tough. When she started becoming a regular speaker around Boston and elsewhere, she refused to speak if she was offered less than men speakers who were also on the program. She would say no. And if she was the only woman invited, she would turn down as well. And she had a list ready of other women that were good speakers that she wanted. So she was really a champion to get the word out about books. And that was the main objective. But she also wasn't a wallflower. She knew what she was worth and what librarians were worth. Mm-hmm. So she's a big hero, I think, to many librarians all around the country.
Boy, oh boy, I absolutely, what an amazing woman. And it seems like she celebrates, we've talked a lot here in the show about books being mirrors, windows, and sliding glass doors. And I really love that books can give everyone a chance to look into other cultures and get to know their neighbors, that they may look different than, they may eat different foods and they may speak different languages. But bottom line, we're all part of the same beautiful human family.
Well, I'm opening my book in front of me because this is, and your audience can't see, but if they get the book, they'll know that when Fanny first came to this country, before she came, Jews were being persecuted in Russia, and her grandmother, Fanny's grandmother, actually had a meeting with the Tsar Nicholas, and brought some Jewish books, and would say that her phrase was, the more you know about someone's life, the harder it is not to like them. Mm-hmm. And that became Fanny's mantra. When she got to the United States and got a job, she wanted everybody to read exactly what you said. This was one of the first proponents of doors, of windows and mirrors. She wanted everyone to know about each other because she said, the more you know about someone's life, the harder it is not to like them. And she wanted to know about everyone.
I love it. I love it. What was it that inspired you to write this picture book biography of Fanny?
Well, so I have been very fortunate in that a number of my books have won some nice awards. I've gotten a couple of gold medals from the Association of Jewish Libraries. And when I won my second gold medal from them for a book called The Language of Angels, a story about the reinvention of Hebrew, I went to the conference to give a talk. And after my talk, I forget if it was later that day, the next day, maybe right before, there was given a Fanny Goldstein Merit Award, which is given yearly by the Association of Jewish Libraries. So I went, and then there's a lecture given as well, and somebody gets an award. and I went to the lecture, and I was looking through the booklet of past winners. And many of them were Jewish librarians who I knew personally, whose I knew were working so hard on the trenches to get my books out there and other people's books out there. And whenever I get an award, for instance, when I got the Sidney Taylor Award from them, I wanted to read everything by Sidney Taylor, who wrote All of a Kind Family, the first really Jewish series of books that became popular with a wide audience. Mm-hmm. And I was curious under whose aegis this award was being given to all these amazing librarians that I knew. And it was Fanny Goldstein. So I started wanting to know about her. I looked her up online, which is, of course, the first thing we always do, mm-hmm. and realized that there was almost no information about her, and the information I found was both lacking and contradictory. Mm. You know, some of the main places that had her listed had her birth date at different years, when she came over in different years, some family members. So it looked like there was nothing really on record about her. Mm-hmm. And this is a woman who I knew, who wrote prodigiously about books and libraries and spoke all over. And I was surprised to see how little was out there. Mm-hmm. And I wondered why. Of course, at the time, lectures and talks by Jews and librarians were not really considered important enough to be kept, to be ionized. So a lot of these were lost. She didn't have any children, but I made a note. I actually keep a list of interesting subjects whenever I come across something and I want to know more. At the time, I was working on some other books, but I made a note in my file, Fanny Goldstein, and decided that someday I would learn more about her. But I promptly put it aside because I had other projects I was working on. And then, purely by happenstance, PJ Library. Do you know PJ Library?
It is ringing a bell, but tell everybody what it is.
So PJ Library is a wonderful organization that gives away free books to Jewish kids all over the world. You can even sign up. You don't have to be Jewish. But in Fanny's spirit, in many ways, they feel that many Jews today know very little about their history. And so if you sign up and you have a child, they will give you a free book every month from birth until the child is, I think, 10 years old or 8 or something. It just comes in the mail automatically.
Wow.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of books. I don't have the numbers in front of me. But it's now a worldwide organization. And I'm pleased to say I believe that they have taken 5 of my books over the years. My most recent, Next Year in the White House, which came out in March, was about the very first in history Passover Seder held at the White House, and it was during President Obama's years. Uh-huh. And that was actually a book that PJ Library came and asked if I would. It was their idea. They asked if I would be interested in writing it, and I did. And it came out in March, and I have to say it's probably one of my very best-selling books. But PJ Library had been contacted by the Jewish Book Council, and to say that their 100th anniversary was coming up, and they were wondering they would love a book celebrating that.
Uh-huh.
I got a call from the PJ Library. I believe at one point I had shared with them some of the ideas that I had come up with, and probably mentioned Fanny. And they said, 100th anniversary is coming up of Fanny, and what do you think? And I said, well, if I'm going to write that book, I better write it now.
Yeah.
So I put everything aside because I didn't have much time. I have a book that came out 2 weeks ago called What Louis Brandeis Knows, A Crusader for Social Justice Becomes a Supreme Court Justice. I sold that book 5 years ago. And it came out 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be impossible. I thought it was going to be absolutely impossible. A shout out to Lori Hornick, my editor at Rocky Pond Books, which is an imprint of Penguin Random House. I sent her the manuscript with a caveat that I realized it was impossible to get this done in time, but I thought it was a good subject, maybe even after the 100th anniversary, et cetera. And she called me back faster than I've ever been called back before for a book, and told me not only is she going to get it out in time, she had already spoken to Alyssa Russell, my illustrator, who was doing sketches as we spoke.
All right.
So it took a while to get the contract. By the time I got the contract, the book was almost done. We all gathered together and made it happen.
That's awesome. Hey, we should make sure we don't have a lot of time, but let's talk about the R. Michelson galleries.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking in. I'm talking to Richard in his office, but his office is not too far away from this beautiful gallery of children's book illustrations. Am I right?
We specialize in original children's book illustrations. This November 2nd, if this comes out before then, I don't know.
It will.
And we're having our 36th annual illustration celebration. Your favorite illustrators come from all over the country. You're invited too. Maybe you'll meet Jed there. So if you've been listening and you want to see what he looks like, come and join us. It is a wonderful celebration. You'll see many of your favorite authors and illustrators. We have been doing this for 50 years. We were the first gallery in the country to start handling children's book illustration on an equal level with fine art, so-called fine art. And every November, December, January, we turn the gallery into a display of original picture book art. You will see work from the latest books. I don't want to miss anybody, but Mo Willems, Ian Faulkner, you'll see Olivia pieces, Jason Chin, you'll see work by Jerry Pinkney, Misha Archer, you'll see Paddington by Bob Alley, and you can meet Bob here. You'll see work by Brian Collier, Carson Ellis, Fancy Nancy, oh, geez, I'm going to go on. The Steads have a new book out. Almost Matt Cordell, Sid Smith. Now I'm going to get myself in trouble. Mark Teague, John Muth. Mark Brown will be here talking about author. Raul Colon will be here. I'm flipping through my site. Rosemary Wells, Joseph Peter, Marlboro Clintock. You'll see, basically work by about everyone, the Dylans, Maurice Sendak, Dr. Seuss. We have the largest collection of book illustration, may I say, in the world. I think so. And you're all invited.
And where is that happening?
So that is at R. Michelson Galleries. Go online, rmichelson.com. My own website is richardmichelson.com. That's Michelson. Our gallery is in Northampton, Massachusetts. That's in western Massachusetts. We are due north of New York City, where a lot of people come from. We are due west of Boston, where Jed is located. We're near Albany, New York. We're in the Berkshires. Beautiful place right near Smith College, Amherst College, UMass, Mount Holyoke, Hampshire College. It's a beautiful town. We have a gorgeous gallery, 60-foot high ceilings, 20,000 square feet of art. And while you're here, the Eric Carle Museum, our neighbor, if you've ever been to the Eric Carle Museum, they join us every year to sell books. So these illustrators who will be here will be signing your books. We ask you not to bring in outside books. It's just too busy. Mm-hmm. But you can get things signed. You can see the original artwork, and hope you can make it.
Well, I am looking at my calendar, and I don't see any reason why I can't be there on this. I'm going to agree with Richard 100%. Northampton is a delightful town. I just spent a weekend there in August, and it is a fantastic town. Lots of great food, so check it out. And I'm going to do my best to be there, Richard, and we can hang out, and I'll bring a few bookmarks, and people can get some free bookmarks.
Well, one of your Boston artists we represent, Aqua Holmes, who I'm sure many Boston folks know, not only for her children's books and her Caldecott honors, but she also does the Sunflower Project in Boston, and is the first living illustrator who have a full one-person show at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. So you can come and meet Aqua there. You can see Aaron Becca. I'm afraid, I'm sure I've already missed people.
Don't want to yet. We don't want to leave anybody out. But in the meantime, we want everybody to check out Fanny's Big Idea. It is a biography of Fanny Goldstein, librarian, literacy pioneer, and the creator of the Jewish Book Week. And our guest has been the author, Richard Michelson. Hey, Richard, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for being on Reading with Your Kids.
Pleasure, Jed, and I look forward to meeting you in person soon.
Yes.